Hi, and welcome back to AtoBeezeBooks. I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to do a video about books that are becoming TV or movie adaptations in 2025. A few of them I'm a little late on, I'll be honest. They came out in January and March, I believe, but we're going to look at a few books that I found interesting that would be turned into movies and TV shows. So if that sounds interesting, please stick around and let's get into it. We're going to start off with movies. So the first one is Wish You Were Here, and the book is written by Renee Carlino. It came out in 2017 with a Goodreads rating of 3.93. It was released in January of 2025, so I do have the Rotten Tomatoes review as well, which is 39%. Good, not great, or bad, not good. It has Isabel Furman, who plays Charlotte, and Mina Musad as Adam. From what I've gathered, it's about a girl who has a one-night stand. Well, actually, two consenting adults who have a one-night stand. She just happens to really think about him for a long time. So she kind of seeks him out, was what I read. So she follows up and basically kind of is like, okay, I can't stop thinking about this guy. Let me see where this goes. I'm interested. I prefer to read books before I watch the movie. Sometimes, or TV show, whatever, just like the screen adaptation. Sometimes it is helpful to watch the movie first and then read the book when it's a really kind of detailed and massive world like Game of Thrones. I watched season 1 before I picked up any of the books, and honestly it really helped, like just the names, the locations, and the general premise. I found it was beneficial for me to have watched the show before. The next book that I'm going to be talking about that's turning into a movie is Verity, and honestly wasn't that excited. I'm not the biggest Colleen Hoover fan, but then I saw Josh Hartnett and now I'm excited and I'm so on board. My friends read Verity, the majority of them, and I think they all really liked it. So I'm hopeful that I too will like it. I don't know, something about Colleen Hoover turns me off. I'm not the biggest fan of her, even though I've only read one book. It's not totally fair. It's just how I feel. Anywho, so Verity was published in 2018, and the movie is slated to come out in 2025, but it doesn't have a release date. Hi, Editing Ryan here. I just wanted to let you know it actually comes out May 15th, 2026. I had it on my TBR for my next few books because I literally thought it was coming out in a few weeks. And I even bought the audiobook so I could maximize my ability to read it in time for the movie release. But now I have a year, so I will inevitably procrastinate and probably read it in a year from now. Okay, back to the video. Hopefully there isn't as much drama with this movie release, like It Ends With Us and all the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni bullshit. So the book has a 4.3 star rating on Goodreads. And we have Anne Hathaway playing Verity, Josh Hartnett playing Jeremy Crawford, and Dakota Johnson playing Lowen Ashley. Again, I don't know a ton about this book. All I know is that it's a thriller romance. I took notes. About a writer who's down on her luck and ends up working for a writer, and then she ends up finding an autobiography, and I think that has some kind of spicy or interesting stuff. And in the midst of all that, she ends up being interested in the author's husband. I could be totally wrong. That's just what I have written down in my notes and what I kind of got from the little synopsis, but something could have been lost in translation. I'm very excited about this one. The previous movie, I would say, as an excitement level, we'll give it a 3 out of 5. This one, I would say a 5 out of 5. I love Josh Hartnett to the point where in trying to think if it was grade 7 or grade 8, we used to have to do, I was in French immersion, and it was, I don't know if it was called dictée or if I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but basically you had to do a speech and you were given, I think you had to say a speech for 2 minutes. You could choose the topic. I did mine on Josh Hartnett in French. I was down bad for this man. Haha, I'm up here now. The next movie, book turned movie, will be the Thursday Murder Club. This book came out in 2020. It was written by Richard Osman and has a 3.87 Goodreads rating. I've read this book already. I've been very much looking forward to this movie. It is slated to come out in 2025 on Netflix. Very exciting. There's already 4 books in this series, so it'd be cool if maybe they make more movies out of this. Let's see how the first one goes. So we have Pierce Brosnan as Ron, which frankly, not at all how I pictured him. I'm down for it. I love Pierce Brosnan. He's my original James Bond. So like obviously the dad in Mrs. Doubtfire. But my Ron in my head was like kind of balding, like a good looking guy, but not like Rico Suave, like freaking Pierce Brosnan. And he had like a bit of a beer gut, and he always wears like soccer jerseys. So we'll see. And then Helen Mirren as Elizabeth, which is perfect. Ben Kingsley as Ibrahim. Yep, I'm cool with that. And then Celia Imrie as Joyce. I don't know that I know her or anything with her in it. So that is the Thursday Murder Club that will be coming out hopefully in 2025. So for this book turning into a movie, I would give it a 6 out of 5 on my excitement level. Down here again, the next book is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I also have read this book. It has a 3.86 star rating on Goodreads. It was published in 2021, and the movie is slated to come out on Netflix in 2025. That's as precise as we're getting, I guess. So probably towards the end of the year. It will star Sarah Catherine Hook as the main girl character. I love how I just didn't write that down. I have read this book, by the way, and it was kind of mid, in my opinion. It wasn't like my favorite. It wasn't the worst. I am looking forward to watching this, and I'm glad it's like on Netflix. I don't know that I would go see this in theaters. Thursday Murder Club, 10 out of 10. I would have gone to see that in theaters. This, I'm glad I'll watch it like on a Saturday. And then the main dude playing the like main guy is Lucas Gage. I don't know either of these actors, so I'm old. I don't know anything. But basically, this book is two friends that meet in college, and one of them writes like for a travel magazine. So every year she goes on a trip and he comes along. So they've been doing it for like ever, basically. And then they end up taking their relationship to a different level, and it causes like tension and awkwardness. So I think there's like a 10-year gap between basically them being best friends, going on this annual trip, always just kind of being in each other's lives, to like nothing. And then she gets an opportunity to go on a trip and he comes along, and it's just kind of them navigating, reconnecting, like mending their relationship and coming to terms with like the feelings that they have for each other. It was cute. It was fun, kind of cheesy. You know, it's a beach read. Emily Henry writes beach reads. I've read a couple from her, and again, you know, good, not great. Excitement level, 3.75. Not quite a 4. Next is a TV show. So we're moving into TV shows now. And this is Missing You, which came out in January on Netflix. The book was originally published in 2014, and it has an average star rating of 4. It is a mystery thriller. Since it came out in January, I do have the Rotten Tomatoes, which is 48%. I also, unbeknownst to myself, when I started researching for this video, realized I started watching this series and just couldn't get into it. But reading the synopsis of the book made me want to read the book and then maybe give the show a second try. From what I gleaned from watching the first episode and like getting the little synopsis on Netflix as well as reading the actual book synopsis, a detective is scrolling on like the dating apps and ends up seeing her ex-fiance, which like jump scare. But she hasn't seen this ex-fiance in 18 years. And I almost want to say like she thought he was dead, or like, no. What ended up happening is he literally disappeared. They were like fiancés. And then boom, he's gone, disappeared from her life. And she's like, hello, that was traumatizing, but also like, what the fuck? You're on my dating app now? So it has conspiracy, and then also her dad was murdered. So it's just a lot of mystery, thriller. Sounds very interesting. I liked all the actors in the show. I'm not too sure why it didn't grip me. I could have just been in a weird mood. But I do want to give this a try, and I do want to read the book first. So excitement level, we have to say it too, because like I literally didn't even watch the show. But maybe once I read the book, it has the potential to go up. Oh, hey, Josh Duhamel. Next, we have Ransom Canyon, another TV show on Netflix, coming out in April of 2025. I'm finally up to date on the TV shows. I only missed one, so give me some slack. Editing me again. It already came out. It released on April 17th, and it currently has a 54% Rotten Tomato score. I'm very much excited for this. It is Ransom Canyon by Jodie Thomas. It has a 4.2 .04 star rating on Goodreads, and it was originally published in 2018. There are currently 8 books in the series. One is a prequel. Okay, what I have written down here is 8 books, 1 prequel, 2 novellas. So to be fair, I don't remember because I did this research a while ago if that means that there's a total of 11 books in the whole series, or if there's 5 books and 3 of them are prequel novella. All to say, lots of books in this series, and it is a cowboy romance, which I have been wanting to get into my cowboy romance era for a while now. I had a mafia romance era. Let's not talk about it, but maybe I can get into my cowboy romance era. It's set in a West Texas town, which I don't know if you know this about me, but I really like Texas. Well, no, I really like the Texas Rangers. And I have family in Texas, so I have like a little soft spot in my heart. And I guess it's centered around 4 families in, I have to assume, Ransom Canyon. All to say, Minka Kelly will play Quinn O'Grady and Josh Duhamel will play Staten Kirkland. I don't know who these characters are, but I do love the actors. Minka Kelly was in Friday Night Lights, another show based in Texas. And then Josh Duhamel was like a total heartthrob in the late aughts and early 2010s. And then I feel like he's just kind of disappeared from life, but I'm excited he's back. He's so handsome and funny. I don't know if this will have any humor, but I hope it's kind of like a rom-com, heavy on the romance, but also kind of a bit of a soap opera. I know my mom will absolutely gobble the show up. I feel like it's Virgin River, just in Texas. I will say this is probably a 5 out of 5 for me, but it could also turn into a 0 out of 5. Real quick, it depends on if I end up liking the book and how the show is set up. If it's like Virgin River, I will like it. I loved Virgin River. I didn't continue watching it, but season 1 had me hooked, and the entire series has my mom absolutely by the throat. She literally figured out how to get herself Netflix just to watch the show, which is impressive if you know my mom. Our last book to TV series is going to be The Hunting Wives. It will be airing on the Starz network in 2025. The novel was written by May Cobb and has a 3.47 star rating on Goodreads. It will be starring Malin Akerman as Margot Banks, Brittany Snow as Sophie O'Neill, Dermot Mulrooney as Jed Banks, and I also see another actress that I've put a picture of that is a big name that I didn't include, and I apologize for that. She's the one on the far left. Yeah, so my bad for not including the character. I also just don't even have Dermot Mulrooney, but Brittany Snow, also not pictured. Now I'm starting to wonder if this picture is even the characters. So The Hunting Wives was originally published in 2021. It is a mystery thriller, and I guess what ends up happening is Brittany Snow's character, Sophie O'Neill, moves from Chicago, and she has a thrilling career, big city gal, moving to, I guess, a little town or whatever, a town in Texas. So we've got another Texas based show. Texas is having its moment. And then she ends up meeting Margot Banks, who is played by Malin Akerman. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. And she becomes kind of obsessed with her, very intrigued and allured by this woman who is a socialite and part of a very cliquey group of wives, and they call themselves the Hunting Wives. And to quote the synopsis, as Sophie's curiosity gives way to full-blown obsessions, she slips further away from the safety of her family and deeper into the nest of vipers. Oh, and then a body of a teenage girl is discovered in the woods. So yes, I 100% want to read this book first. I would say, honestly, the show itself isn't too high on my excitement meter, but the book is. So let's give it another 3.7. No, let's give it a 4. So it is a 4 on the excitement level. So those were the books that will be turned into TV or film adaptations that I found to be interesting or exciting. These are more geared towards my personal taste. So let me know if you'll be checking out any of those movies or TV shows. If you have any books that are turning into movies or TV shows that I missed and that you're very excited for, that I need to be on the lookout for, let me know down in the comments below, please. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you next time. Goodbye.